welcome to this edition of Strong Perspective Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Keith Armstrong. I'm here with my brother Damon Armstrong and Jaquari Armstrong. I have a special guest tonight. Uh, I would say my namesake, but we look alike, but we're two different people. Keith Armstrong Jr.
Welcome,
And
nephew.
welcome to the show, brother.
Hello, hello. How y'all
Welcome,
doing?
welcome.
Um, Before I do anything, let's do a little bit of housekeeping because the last couple of episodes I haven't done it early enough for me. Uh, Strong Perspective Podcast is really the type of podcast that have conversations with everyday people about their lives and what they've seen along their journeys. And we come to you on Facebook Live, but we're live on our YouTube channel also. You know, do us a favor, go into the channel, the Strong Perspective Podcast channel, like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. You say that 3 times, you won't forget. Y'all try that at home. We got a nice little content. We got about maybe 60 episodes on. So go to the channel and check it out. We might, recommend it. Go check it out. All right, well, this is a special day, brothers. We got your nephew on here. Damon, how was your day today?
My day was good, man. Very positive, man. Looking forward to this podcast, man. Got my nephew on here. You know what I'm saying? All Armstrong, man. You know what I'm saying? This is a special thing, bro.
All right, Jaquaro, how about you, my brother?
Well, man, it was a good day, man. I was blessed with no obstacles, brother. Nothing strange popped up that I had to go out of my way to address, and spent all day looking forward to this.
Okay. You didn't have to go to the pharmacy and get no ointment or anything, right?
Well, yeah, like all my old shit. Yeah, I got that handled.
Yeah, yeah.
Ain't nothing new. Ain't nothing new happened.
That's it.
That's the point.
All right, there.
Hey, number refills, huh?
That's it.
That's
All right,
it.
Chief, how you doing, brother?
No new prescriptions.
Yeah, how you doing, brother? How was
That's
your
real.
day today?
It was well. I got some work in today. I helped my business partner, Cal Golder. It's his son's birthday today, and I was his laborer today. He was moving furniture and making sure he got the bunk bed for his son. So that was a lot, but I was looking forward to this podcast. I had to make sure I got a haircut too, so I could look proper.
My man.
Cool, cool. Um,
Yeah.
I
I
tell
was
you,
gonna get a
before
haircut, but I was like, you see that? I changed that motherfucker diaper. I ain't doing this goddamn haircut.
Yeah.
all right, yeah, we made it 2 minutes in, so you got your curse word in, my brother. Keith,
hmm
um, let's start off with this. We'll get into the athletics, the second half of this situation. I want you to let everybody know exactly after college and your basketball career. What did you get into? What led you to the point that you're going into the endeavor that you're on? Explain your endeavor first, and then we'll get into it a little later.
So after basketball, uh, which I still didn't know at the time I was going to be done. It was, my body told me that, but mentally I was still wanting to try. And so while I was in college, uh, I was doing graphic design, and so I was always into art. And so depending on, it didn't matter what like design, if it was painting, photography, or like I said, graphic design work. You always still had to do fine art, and so that was uh, that was drawing. that was painting, that was sketching, using charcoals, doing all different stuff. So it was basically like having an all around information and knowledge of the art realm. And so I did graphic design. I didn't know too much about that until I actually got into my sophomore year of college. Um, and so I just stuck with it after I graduated. And honestly, I didn't know what I wanted to do with it, but I just know I just wanted to do what I wanted to do. You know.
Okay. Okay. Um, why don't we do this? Because it's interesting that you always he's always been a artistically minded person, if I can put that together, and he also always walked to his own beat of his own drum.
So
Sometimes it's
they,
house music, sometimes it's go go, sometimes it's rap music, and sometimes it's damn opera. But go into when you first got your laptop. Where were you, and what really sparked you into your whole mission? You were in Italy at the time.
yeah. And so after college, I was at a Division II school, Winston-Salem State University in North Carolina. Go Rams. I was there for a year. After I graduated from East Carolina, and so I had 1 year left to play. And when I was at East Carolina, my major was communications, because when I was at Robert Morris University, so I went to three schools, and so when I was at Robert Morris University, I was doing graphic design. But when I transferred, because it was this private school, all of the credits didn't go through. And so I asked, the advisor, I said, yo, what's going to get me the quickest way out of here? I wanted to make sure I graduate. And, uh, and she said, well, you have at least 80 to 90 credits in communications and you'll be able to graduate on time. And I said, well, that's the most important thing for me. And so I decided to go back into a different major and do communications, interpersonal media studies. And once I graduated from East Carolina, and I went to Winston Salem State, and the only reason why I went to Winston Salem State, to be quite honest, was because my best friend Maurice Nash was there. The only reason why I went. And from the beginning, he talked to me throughout Robert Morris and East Carolina. He was like, "Yo, I think you should come here. I think you should come here." You know, and I called him after I was finished with East Carolina. I said, I'm gonna go there. He's like, I'm gonna set it up for you. So I talked to the coach, and I was able to tell him. I said, hey, look, I want to do graphic design. I want to finish doing what I want. Started at Robert Morris, and so he said I can make that happen for you. And so I decided to be around. And after I graduated from there, and I got familiar with the major, my mom, shout out moms, she got me a laptop, and I didn't use it until after. It was crazy because I didn't use the laptop until after I got a deal to go to Italy. And it wasn't because I didn't want to use it. I just was so focused on basketball and just wanted to, try to attempt to get overseas. And so once I got acclimated and I was, I had I was grounded in Italy. I was in Salerno, that's southern Italy. It's 40 minutes. It's 40 minutes to an hour away from Naples. And I got into my laptop one day when I'm probably 8 games in our season, and I had time just to relax, and I just started to just play with my laptop. I had different softwares of Adobe Photoshop and Illustrator and Premiere Pro. And Premiere Pro is the one for videos. And while I was out there, you know, uh, the guys weren't really giving me film, and so I said, you know what, I'm gonna try to make my own film. And so I started to use that. I used that, the softwares on my computer to help myself with my basketball career. And that's how I started, even doing graphics and just drawing off the computer because one, I had to make sure I had my own film in Italy.
Okay. Tell us about Kibo.
Hmm. So it was I actually, and this is the crazy thing. So it was probably like my second to third day me using this laptop back in 2016, and those first 2 days was me using Premiere Pro, to make my film. And so I said, you know what? Let me see what else. Let me see what these other, applications are about. So I was in Adobe Illustrator, just like playing around, doodling on the computer in a sense. And there's one day, it was like the third day, and I just started to get it, like understand how to use the motions of the computer, and I just somehow just made some ugly looking thing. It's just like, after I finished, I'm like, oh, it's not half bad. Like it was all geometric shapes when I first started. It was the circles, it was the rounded squares, it was the big circle. It was this me just playing and just researching. And so one day I just created this dude. There was no real emotion. It was this action and this like figuring stuff out. And this one day he was just there. And I said, I said to myself, I'm gonna use this. I'm just gonna use it.
Okay. Is that Kibo behind you in your background?
Yep.
You got to
That's
big them up, baby. You talked about them. Big them up.
Yeah, this is
Dequari,
Kibo right here.
Dequari, Damon, y'all got any questions, bro?
Hey, he lost me when he said rounded squares, bro. So I'm trying to imagine that in my head. So I'm learning at this point.
And also his face actually comes from my inspiration of African art, where they did 2D side faces, and like I put that in the actual image. So if you look, you can see from the top, on the right side of his eye, that it shapes down and it goes under the left eye. It's like the bridge of a nose, and then it comes back around, and that's the
Okay.
chin.
All
And
right. I see.
so it's like the face I wanted the people to see is the wow factor. And it's like, what? That's his face, though. He's always like that. Every time you see him, you're gonna say, "Wow, that's crazy." You wouldn't think about that.
You hit,
Whatever he's
yeah,
on, you're gonna say, "Wow."
you hit me with the subliminals, man. Yeah, like all major major brands with their logos. They put that small personal message in there, man. Now that I see the face, I'm like, wow, that works.
There's two faces within one.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Oh, you just got deep
So
on it.
yeah.
Go ahead.
So what was it? What was it about your position, your particular position that you were in, made you decide to bet on yourself, man? Why'd you take that particular path?
You guys having y'all in my corner and just believing in whatever I did. I didn't talk a lot, you know. It was just me just thinking and just basking in my thoughts and just understanding like what I like and don't like, you know. And one thing I don't like to do is follow other people's directions or orders. And so that's an entrepreneur for me. You know, I listen and learn from people, and whatever I need, I would definitely listen for that. But you're not going to tell me how I can live my life. And I'm, especially with my brand, it's not even a brand. It's just like it's just me. It's anybody who believes in themselves and just authentically them. You know, that's what be. That's what Book Anonymous is. It's not. It's the acronym be original over generic, but it's also the acronym of BA. What is BA? Be be a good person, be a dope mom, be a dope dad, be a dope brother, that's BA. That's the whole point of it. I want to give people messages within messages of like understanding you could do anything that you want to if less you only have to just believe in yourself. If you believe in yourself, I feel like anything is possible, you know?
Oh yeah. Well, so talk about some of your achievements, some of your pieces. Um, let's start with your very first thing, clothing that you created, and then end with your favorite.
Okay, and before I get to that, I want to tell y'all. So with Kibo, I got the name Kibo. It was just embedded, because I had, my aunt Tracy and Pittsburgh used to call me Keyball, but I didn't know until my dad said something that said, "Yo, Keybo is my name." That's what my dad used to call me, and I'm like, "Oh, okay." That's I really didn't ask. I didn't even ask him like, "Hey, is Keybo your nickname?" I just decided just to give that to him because this is because Kibo isn't just he does not a bear. He's an entity. He's everywhere. That was the whole point of me making him. I want him to be everywhere on anything, on everything, on different people's graffiti walls. He's the message. He's the hope for people to be who they want to be. And it's KEYBO. That's knowledge every young being owns. From a young age, everybody they want to be. When they ask in school, "What you want to be when you grow up?" Doctor, astronaut, fighter, fighter. I'm like myself of me.
An
It wasn't.
artiste.
I was yeah. It was myself. It was never about. It was. I played basketball, but I didn't want to be the best basketball player. I was blessed, and I understood I had tools to get me where I wanted to go. You know, and
Right.
I have friends were who they dreamed of being in the NBA, and their actions actually showed that too. You know, um, and so the pieces that I made, one of the first, you know, one of the first pieces I made was for a friend. His name is Isaiah Johnson. He played at the time. This was back in 2017. He played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He was a cornerback. Uh, I met him in Miami because the only reason why I went to Miami because it was my friend's birthday, and he asked me to come along with him. He gave me a call. He's like, "Hey, look, bro, you want to come down to Miami?" I'm like, "Ah." He said, "Bro, don't worry about it. Just come down with me. It's my birthday, please." I said, "Absolutely." And so me doing that, and it put me in a position to. I'm like, okay, I have no reason to come down here, but I'm gonna make a reason. You know, yes, it's my friend's birthday, but just because you can say no to people, but it was I felt like I needed to go, and so I ended up meeting Isaiah. He was in our group. Didn't know he played football or anything. I was like, "Hey, look, bro, I make clothes and I'd love to lace you." He's from Raleigh. He said, "Absolutely." And so as soon as we got back, we made it happen. And that was the start of it. And it was the start of me understanding that hey, I can create my own uh, my own art spaces. You know what I mean? So like making a home like a homemade studio, having a white backdrop. You could bring it in, put it in your house in the living room, have the lights, and have a great camera. My friend Big Ant, call him Ant Bear. He definitely he came through, and he's been I met him at East Carolina, and so it was really about who I knew to help me get this objective done. You know, and that was my first big piece with a guy who was in the NFL. And I thought I'm like, whoa, if I can do it like this, what else can I do? You know, and One of my favorites was is this lady from France. Her name is Closy. Um, she's a DJ, electric dance music DJ. I met her probably a year ago, like today. There was a concert in Raleigh. Me and my business partner, we went out there, and this is when like me and Kyle were like on 3 months together. You know, just being around each other, just understanding like what's going on, what we want to do. And I'm like, look, I got these clothes, man. You might as well just see if we can get them out to people. And she was one of the first people from that collection that I made. I put a lot of time into that collection, put thousands of dollars into it, you know, and she loved it. And I was like, okay. She literally just finished doing a 2,000 attendance show, killing it. And I, me and Kyle went through the back, and our friend Lex was there who helped us drive or whatever. I gave it to her. I'm like, I don't even know if she's gonna like it. I don't even know if she's gonna come back and say thank you. She ran out and said, "Oh my God, I love this," And that was like the relationship that I'm like, okay, if you love what I do, I can make something else for you too that you like. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you love this, cool. I'm glad that you love it, but now let's make something that you like that you know you're gonna wear. And so probably 6 months later, we end up doing a nice tank top for her. I gave it to her at the show. This show was probably like 8,000 people. I'm like, here you go. And she actually put it on that night and wore it. I was like, oh my God. I said, whoa, that's crazy. I didn't expect her and I didn't ask her to do that. She did that because she believed in what I was doing,
Right.
and that was the main that's that feeling right there always stuck with me. You know what I mean?
Okay, well, I have a couple more questions, but let me just do this. Usually on our podcast, we acknowledge everybody in the comments. So, what's up? What's going on, Eric? Good to see you. Larry
What's up, bro?
Stewart, homeboy, what's going on?
What's up,
Cousin David, how you doing, brother?
Rod Redenbacher?
Mm-hmm. Listen, your mama's on, Keith, and she says
Hey,
hello. And she said, don't forget to talk about you being an anime junkie. Said, don't
yeah,
forget about that. You know.
absolutely. Oh my
Um,
goodness, I actually
but
got
look,
yeah, yeah.
n-
Nah, and
what?
that's definitely inspiration too, because I'm I can tell you this part of it because I did take that out, Mom. Thank you for reminding me. Um, Anime was a huge part of that. The first thing I don't think y'all know this. The first time I seen an anime was at my grandmother's house in Ipsy, and I watched Fist of the North Star.
Classic, the classic.
Yeah.
Yo, and from there I was hooked. You guys had all those comic books. Y'all had Spawn, Conan, of course the Marvels. Y'all had rare comics. I was young. I really couldn't really appreciate it. I appreciated just looking at it. But over time, I remember the first time I actually, I was drawing since I was in preschool, but like I was drawing on the walls, getting in trouble. But when I was in fourth grade, I had a friend named Eli. We like he had we bought like manga books and started to just draw. And so it was like, oh, I like this. It was easy for me to understand and mimic. And so I just started to draw all the time. And so from I say from like age 8 on, I've always been drawing, and anime's been embedded in my life this whole time. I always wanted to go to Japan, and that was the reason why I wanted to play basketball overseas. It wasn't about me not wanting to be in the NBA. It was about me wanting to get to Japan as fastest way I could, and it helped me uh, being in Italy and Peru. It helped me like And I've been in London, I've been to Germany, I've been in places, and being in those places, it helped me like understand perspective. A lot of it, uh, you know, a lot of it. We can get to that later, but definitely.
Okay. Let's do a little bit of house cleaning. Hey, uncles, I need y'all to participate, man. I know y'all eating it up too, but I know y'all got plenty of questions for them. But a little bit of housekeeping. You are right now. You're viewing Strong Perspective podcast, and where our channel is on YouTube, and we would love for you to go and check out our videos. We have something for everybody, men and women. Come and check it out. It's conversation. It's what we do. It's what we specialize in. We specialize in conversation. So please go to the channel, like, share, and subscribe to it, so we could reach a certain amount, so other people can get the same experience that you're getting. Because guess what? We're grassroots, and we're great conversationists. This is what we do. We do this well. Okay? So talk about, even though you've done this in the last 4 years, I believe, you know, give or take a year, um, your accomplishments or the different things you've done, that, fashion shows, festivals, everything that you've done. Let the folks know just how much work you've
Mm.
been putting.
I'm not one to really talk about uh, what I did, but I'm more excited to talk about what's going on next. You know what I mean? Like, I it's like it's the same. Like for me, it's the same concept of like it's not where you're going, it's like how you got there. You know what
Now,
I
hold
mean?
on,
Like
hold on,
the
hold on.
process. And so
You can
like
get, son. Hold
yeah,
on,
yeah,
son.
yeah.
Answer that question.
Yeah,
Let
I'm
them know
definitely
what
I'm
you
about to answer.
accomplished. And then you can get into it. Okay?
Yeah, I'm about to answer it. But the reason why I just want y'all to understand how I was thinking though, for me to get accomplishments. You know what I mean? It was about the journey and not the destination. And so um, I had fashion shows out. I was 20. It was a 2021 North Carolina Fashion Week. Um, it was in Morrisville. I had 50 different models and different pieces that I did myself. I modeled them. I dressed them. It was uh, it was exhausting. uh, I did NBA All Star Weekend. I did a fashion show. Um, I had my friend Iris Olivia. She I knew her from high school. She went to a different high school, but I reached out to her because I knew she was a model. She was in fashion, and I asked her because she was at the time, because like I said, it was during NBA All Star Weekend. It was in Charlotte, and so I asked her to help me, and she was more than willing to help me. And so it made it easier to get the mindset of the models to how I want to move, and what they have on to fill, and and the pieces. And so did North Carolina Fashion Week. What is it? North Carolina Fashion Week. Uh, I actually did an event in Alaska this year. This past September, I was in Kenai Peninsula. Uh, it was the festival was called There's a Sacred Acre Music Festival. Um, this is where Closey was at, and we had Opio, LS Dream. We had friends from North Carolina like Dreadlock, Froggy P, other friends of McDavie, Conglo. These people who didn't have the opportunity, but me and Kyle, my friend, my business partner, put and involved and got our friends involved with this. It wasn't more of a business; it was business and family. Making sure that people got the opportunity to see the world and put them on the spotlight. That was a lot. That's a lot about what I like to do. Even with Iris. After that, the craziest thing, the next thing I know, she calls me. She's like, "Hey, Keith, don't tell anybody at that time, but I'm gonna be a part of a TV show. You know what I mean? And she was, and she got famous off of that. You know, she was in the public eye off of that, and it was dope. I'm like, man, it's like really there. It's possible for anybody to to do what they want to do and go out there and get it. Um, I, there's so many things, you know. I'm just grateful and I'm just appreciative to do what I like to do. You know,
Yeah.
my dad, he was in law enforcement. You know, but I know he didn't want to do that. He had to make sure that we were okay. You know, and he put me in a position to do what I wanted to do. You know what I mean? And so it's deeper than what a lot of people do. And uh, we have so much in store. You know, we have new drops coming and working with new artists, and it's just exciting. I'm just here to execute. You know, I'm just really here to execute and just have it here. Because at the end of the day, once it's out, it's gonna be out. You know.
How strange? Well, strange is not the word. How different is the EDM music scene compared to what you're used to, and how difficult or easy was it for you to get used to it?
Um, Everybody has their own way of following rules, and regardless if you're new or not, you got to know the rules. You know the know the rules so you can do what you want to do the way that doesn't bump the wrong shoulder. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like stay under the radar until you about to blow. You know, uh, I'll say the difficult thing is for me was understanding why they were making the music and how certain people were better than others that I felt like, but it was not my because that's not my place. It was just to know that hey, this is the community, this is how people do things a certain way, and you know you're here now, so what's up? It was like, why are you here? I'm gonna tell you why I'm here. I'm here to make the clothes. I'm here to show, you know, I, I'm not, I'm not a part of the agenda. I want to make a culture of our own. Like it goes back to me saying Kibo's everywhere. Kibo is going to be a part of EDM, hip hop, classical music, whatever Latina reggae song. Doesn't matter where he's at. Is the fact that we are welcome. You know, because we do things the right way.
Hmm.
Part of a movement, part of business. Covering everything. You know. Um,
It was something you said last night, man. When we were talking, and you was explaining your journey and all that stuff. And the impression I got from you is that you're gonna put out your product and your inspiration, not in a forceful way, but if you get it, you get it. You know what I'm saying? And if you get it, it's gonna be meaningful. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna take people on that journey with you. I mean, that's the
Yeah,
impression that you was giving me last night.
yeah, absolutely. You gotta understand, I'm in North Carolina, right? North Carolina is a hub. We're not good at everything, but everything goes through us. And when I go to New York, that's hip hop. When I go to LA, that's entertainment, like actors and TikTokers and people that's in the spotlight, in that sense. And I go to Miami, it's just Miami. It's just the culture. They got art. I love going to Art Basel. I want to continue to go to Art Basel because Art Basel, you can do. That's like Art Basel is like what Book Anonymous wants to be, where international people come in, do hip hop, do singing EDMs, do reggaeton, do art, painting, visuals, sculptures, all of that. is all part of it. That's all art to me. Like I wanted to emphasize art. It was never about clothes. It was about, oh, this is a piece of art. This is dope. Like I've never seen anything like this is crazy. When I
Right.
put this on, you're gonna know, oh, I feel good about myself. Like that was always my goal to put that narrative and that feeling inside of anything that we created with Book Anonymous.
Okay. All right. Well, look. Why don't we do this? You shout out. I posted your IG on YouTube and everything, Facebook, everything. Why don't you go ahead and say it out loud so people can hear where they can find you?
Okay. Book Anonymous. BOOGANONYMOUS. Say it again. BOOGANONYMOUS.
And
That's
that's your
on Instagram. That's on Facebook. That's on Twitter. That's .com as well. Uh, we also have our community page. It's called Keybo and Friends, and that's KeyboAndFriends. KeyboAndFriends. And that's our community page. I want to post more on my community page, but I've just been focusing on just making sure that Book Anonymous itself is running on its own, so I can focus more on the community page and give out giveaways and do all that stuff for the people who've been supporting. It's really about the people that who support me and understand that the more I could do and the more that you guys support me, the more I can give that love back, man. That's all I really want to do. It's not about me getting money and being rich. It's about making sure that people understand it's the movement. Like understand that we're here to have generational wealth, man. Like through resources, through opportunities. Because I put a lot of my friends on. That's my main thing. I want to help everybody that I can. If you're my friend and you do me right, I'm gonna make sure that you as well you get taken care of, man. To the best of my ability. You know.
okay. So the website is screening across the bottom of the it's scrolling across the bottom of the screen,
Mm-hmm.
and if folks go there, they can see what's available.
Yes. We're always putting new stuff up there all the time. Um, the easiest way to see our products is go to the hamburger that's on the corner of it, of the screen, and if you're on your phone in the mobile app, this will be a little hamburger. It's the three lines. You press that, and it will have art collections, and you go to the collections, and at the collections of the clothing.
Okay. Anything else you want to say about your passion and your business before we move to the sports part of this program?
Um, honestly, like I put a lot. It's a lot of work. I just want people to know. I have my little cousin. He has his own brand. It's called Stardust. Jew, Judah, and Judah Logan. Man, that's my guy right there. The he's doing it, and he's just going out there just getting it. He's like 21, and the main thing I tell him is like, look, you get your resources. Know what's know different methods. Understand what to print, what not to print. Understand what to print on and not to print on. Is this really understanding? You know, just understanding your craft as much as possible. I talked to my other cousin, my older cousin David. Understand. We talk about resources, sharing resources. That's the main thing. Having your family who are in the same fields as you and being able to share the information, like I came from basketball into going into the art world and being a fashion designer and being a graphic designer. And so I'll say that I utilize my resource of basketball and putting it into my art, my art and my fashion. And so, you know, I'm just really here to say that it's like it's really here. It's possible, to keep on looking out for me, keep on supporting. We're going to make sure that I give you the best quality and everything from our art pieces and to our clothing pieces.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm biased, so I say that the young man is very talented, and you get a chance to give him a look and go check it out. Um, Damon, um, and Jaquari, do you have anything before we move on?
I think that, man, for me, man, I'm very impressed at the maturity level, man. I mean, it's thought out and it's lived. It's like a spiritual journey for you. You know what I'm saying? From what I'm picking up. That's why I'm listening. You know what I'm saying? Instead of talking, I'm listening because there's a lot of things that I'm learning, you know, from my nephew. And I'm very impressed by his maturity, man, and how he thinks it out. You know what I'm saying? And he goes at it his own way, you know. And a lot of people don't do that, man. They don't trust themselves on that level. You know what I'm saying? It's so you building something. You know, I got the same vibe from David. You know what I'm saying? Y'all two very mature young men. You know, y'all about your business. You know, and that's a beautiful thing, man. We haven't even got into your experience, man, your life experience, because you've done a lot.
Yeah.
You've
And
done a lot, and you've lived a lot, man.
and,
So I'm interested in hearing that.
yeah,
Jaquari.
yeah.
Yeah, how hard is it not to be influenced by the things you see every day? I mean, just banking on your own creativity.
Oh, it actually, let me tell you this: depression. Depression is one of the things that could either make you or break you, and it's a ongoing battle, you know. And I just know that's it. I, Instagram is something that only glorified the good, you know. And even me talking now, it seems like everything was good, but that was not the case, you know. It was it was real, it was struggle, you know. Like I said, I was a basketball player most more than my whole life right now. These last 5 years, I stopped playing and retired from basketball at 25, and I'm 30 right now, you know. And the transition and doing it on my own in that way, it wasn't the fact that my parents were there; they've always been supportive, but it's like they only know but so much, you know. And it's like, especially something that you do and that you're good at, you got to learn and get it yourself in those ways, you know. And I'll say, man, being depressed and just being in my own filth and just looking in the mirror and just seeing who I was, man, it was like I gotta be happy with myself. I gotta be happy how I look. I gotta understand that like everybody's not gonna like you. So it's like, especially you go on Instagram, you don't like everything, you know. It's, it's really that's what it is. Like I use it as a tool. It was a tool. Like Instagram is a tool, Facebook's a tool, YouTube's a tool. This platform here is a tool for people to have better conversations and get to know themselves and understand that other people struggle too. And but the main thing for me is fighting that and understanding who you are, you know?
Okay, well, the question that Jaquari just asked you go straight in line. What do you see? What your mother's comment on the screen?
It says, well, I've been traveling Has that influenced what goes in the collection when you introduce a fashion line?
Answer that quickly so we can go
Well, you
on.
told me something about that.
That's a good question.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Remember what you told me
Oh,
about Peru when you went to Peru? About the
oh yeah.
colors and the yeah.
Yeah, man. And yeah, it absolutely does. It absolutely does. Um, to be honest with you, that first collection I made, Sins and Virtues, um, that was really the good and bad to get to this first collection. You know what I mean? The things, the positive and negative conversations that I had to go through to make my first collection of clothing. You know, I put over $20,000. You know what I'm saying? $20,000 worth of clothing. You know what I mean? Like I never even thought I could be able to do something like that. You know, 2, 3 years ago. You know, I was. It was really about the emotions of like understanding that everybody go through different emotions, and I put those in my pieces. Um, yeah, it definitely does. My state of mind and the things that I see and experience absolutely plays a part in how my collection goes for the first, the next, you know, and so on. Absolutely.
So you absolutely believed in yourself then. You didn't let going with Jacory asked you. You didn't let anything deter you from your uh
Yeah, I
from
mean, I use absolutely because I use Instagram. I kept on saying that is because that's what people. Is if it's not Instagram, it's TikTok. Is this whole social media thing.
right.
People change their faces to be on TV, and people change how they look and dress to get likes and stuff. You know, that's what they do. But it's like you don't have to do that. You know what I
Where the
mean? Like
coochie.
you because once you do it and then you regret it, where you will
Yeah.
try to get back. Some things you can't turn back from, you know. And so it's like you gotta really be there with yourself, man. I know I'm not perfect. I hope anybody out here who think they're perfect, you know, God willing, you know, they understand that they're not. You know,
All right. Well,
It was like the Greeks used to say, know thyself. You know what I'm saying? And express it, you know, through your expressions, through clothing, through art, through all that.
all right. Well, we're
I
about to
make that
go
for a
into
shirt for you.
look,
Hmm?
I
we're
make that
about to
shirt for
go
you.
we're about to go into our
Oh
interactive.
yeah.
Y'all talk about business when we're done, man. We're about to go into our interactive phase, right?
Keith, man, you ain't the boss of nobody, man.
Listen, we gonna move on for a second here. So, uh, we're gonna talk about basketball because all four of us know about basketball. And
Football. Too.
did you just say football, Keith?
I did.
Stop that. But listen,
I'll break it down for you.
here. Now you don't need to break it down. I was there. I was there on the ride. But what we're gonna do is
Oh, I'm about to say.
what we're gonna do. We're gonna go from here. Basically, you know, if anybody, if you're first time listeners and viewers of us, we come from a line of extraordinary athletes. The four individuals you see on the screen were high capacity athletes. If things would have went a certain way, we would have had a taste of, along with Keith, professionalism. And I'm not speaking out of bitterness. I'm just speaking out of fact. Okay. So in saying that, what I want to start off with, and I'm gonna begin with you, Jaquar, and you and Damon. what you witnessed of Keith's basketball journey, what did you pick up from it? What was your impression of it? Little or a lot? What do you think? We'll start with you, Jaquari.
I mean, it was his journey, man. But it was definitely, what I seen to be an evolution of probably some of the things he'd heard, from all of us over the years. I mean, he put a lot of stuff into practice, man. I mean, I had dreams about having an independent nature, but uh, personally, independence was never something that I ever felt like I was good at. You know what I mean? Uh, Stepping out on faith, betting on yourself. That's something that I preach. But there's very rare occasions that I was actually able to put that into motion. I respect the journey. I really do. Uh, my question is, what's the culmination? What's next? And that's not something that I'm really looking for an answer from you today. You know, you always, I'm always asking successful people what's next. I don't need an answer right now. Just keep on pushing so you can see what's next. That's my point.
Okay, well, like I said, we gonna stick to the basketball theme. There's a reason why I'm going this way because I have
I
some questions.
avoided I avo- I
I
avoided
know,
basketball. Keith,
I know,
yeah, I played basketball. I was out there
I know.
stumbling and tired and shit. I hated basketball, so I can't add nothing positive to this that
That's
part of
why.
the
No, no.
conversation.
First of all, that's why I had you go first.
Yeah,
Hey,
so
Fluke, talk about it.
Here's the thing that I recognize, man, is that in the beginning when he was doing his thing, I wondered whether or not he loved the game. Speaking on my nephew, I wondered if he loved the game or he's just doing it because it was something he enjoyed doing. There's camaraderie, hanging out with the fellas or whatever. But what made me really think about his motivation is when he had those two surgeries. You know what I'm saying? And both of those surgeries that he had
I
was your knee and your shoulder, right?
yeah, I had
That
meniscus in my sophomore going into my junior year, and I had the labrum when I was my freshman going into my sophomore year
yeah,
in college.
how how you fought back from that, and you stuck to it. You know what I'm saying? And you overcame. That let me know that you had a purpose in it, in playing it. And I was wrong in terms of what your motivation was, because I was thinking, well, you playing basketball, you got either you love it or you don't, but you had a purpose. You spoke on that when you talked about Japan. You know what I'm saying? You said you made it known that basketball was a vehicle for you to get to Japan to do your art. You know what I'm saying? To do your art. And I was like, then it hit me and it made sense. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, those surgeries you went through, that requires commitment. You know what I'm saying? It requires commitment and stick to itiveness or whatever. And you did that, and I was like, okay, now that I'm listening to you and hearing what you're saying, it all made sense because you traveled the world and you incorporated that experience into your art. You know what I'm saying? And that's how basketball makes, my opinion, that's how basketball made sense to you. You know what I'm saying? And it was larger than just playing the game. You can correct it if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
But hold on, man.
you gonna go? Yeah,
This
you
is a
go.
combination joint right here, my guy. Because first and foremost, I can honestly say, out of four of us, I actually loved basketball. Am I speaking wrong?
No, you on point with that.
Okay, now I purposely asked this question and gave it us the floor because understanding that basketball, the act of playing basketball and football saved me as a person, right? It didn't create my identity. It didn't do anything other than save me as a person because I had aggression because of the time that I grew up in, right? And I love my mother and father to death, but we weren't rich, but we was rich in love and we ate every day and we had a roof over our head. And that's a blessing. But when it came to sports, all three of you guys know, when it came to basketball, I was no nonsense. No nonsense. So when I when Keith was born, I automatically assumed that he would think the way I did, right? And not realizing that growing up the way I did and wanting him to have a easier path translated in how I raised him, right? So I raised him off of independent thought, what you wanted, what he wanted out of life. And I always told him, if you're going to do this, when I took him out on that court, if you're going to do this, you got to go hard. I don't care about anything else. You go hard. Mostly because I knew the act of going hard would translate in every other part of his life. Going hard on that floor, not for the cheers, not for the adulations, right? It's for the simple fact that you're training yourself. Sports, what sports does is it don't create your character. It don't create you as a human being. What it does is it chisels your resolve. It chisels you into what you will become, what your personality already is, right? So to answer the question, I saw I saw my son as somebody who was built to be a monster, built to be a monster.
Yeah, yeah, he was that.
Yeah,
Definitely,
and
definitely.
would
Like a
show it,
locomotive, like a
would, would
locomotive.
show it, would show it when he wanted to show it. But what I had to realize was he needed to show it. The only time that he would do it is when he felt he needed to. I always, because I love the game, I always felt like I needed to show it. So when I realized that me and my son are two different people, is when I changed my whole thing. So you tell them, Keith, the only time you heard me on the basketball court was when.
Oh, what do you mean by that?
If you heard me say something to you, what would it be?
It was about
Would
how
it be?
it was about the effort. It was the effort. It was the effort.
It was
Me,
always the effort. And that was me splitting that I had to compromise. And that's what it was. I knew if my son went hard, he would be successful. But if he cruised, like, because his class was the first one with the smooth operators, and, right? But y'all know when we was coming up, we was like this. Let's get there. You see what I'm saying? But I said to him, the only time you're gonna hear my voice is when you're not working hard. I don't care how many points you get. I don't care how many rebounds, because if you work hard, you're gonna get all of those. So I wanted you to hear from the three of us before we start, before I give you some questions somebody wanted me to ask you. Okay?
Well, here's the thing, bro. Not to cut you off. Here's the thing, man.
Hey, bro, hold on, man. I want to move on. I want to hear him with these questions
Go ahead.
because he was at the beginning of what's going on right now. You know what I'm saying? Because him and his friends were at the beginning of AAU becoming a powerful entity for these high school kids. And we could do another show of how many ups and downs we was going through. Because I'm about to put this up on the screen, and you see that on the screen? That is in earnest. She really is like that. That's not a bad thing. It's just her experience.
That she telling the truth because of of the up and downs of basketball,
Yeah,
how it integrated into our lives, and
yeah.
and and like the more success I got, sometimes it was downhill battles and stuff. You know what I mean? So it was just what it was.
Being popular, who's popular, who ain't. So here's the question. This is from Lisa Smith, Hell to Pick. Her son is a great basketball player in Pennsylvania, but she's been going through, the ups and downs of it. So her question is, she wants to talk about what do you think about urban versus suburban basketball?
Exposure and money.
Okay, go in depth with that, brother.
Exposure because, and, and I only say this because it don't matter. Let me tell you this: if you are that guy, you that guy. It don't matter where you go to school. They'll find you.
Yeah,
They'll
fine,
find you.
but it'll be a struggle though. But go ahead.
Um, the competition, and I say this: competition in public school while I was in high school was at the highest. You know what I mean? Like it was guys that was going to ACC out of public schools. You know what I mean? And so I'm playing against guys who could potentially at lowest have 16 points at minimum. They're gonna give you 16, you
Man,
know. And
everything all right? What's going on?
but sometimes it's like this, man. It's about the coach. It's about the coach putting in the work. If the high school coach not putting in the work for these kids, man, you won't get anywhere. Honestly, it'll be no. It won't not to say you won't get anywhere. You won't get the best looks. You know, I was for me, I was in high school, and it was my senior year. You know, I wish shout out to Pat Kennedy. I wish he would have signed me up for the North South game or the East West game for North Carolina South Carolina. Because I was what first team in my conference, second team all district or something like that. I was doing my thing, and I didn't know what else to do after school. Because I was 17, about to graduate high school, and I was always a quiet kid. I didn't say if I would have, the one thing I wish I would have had for myself, because every kid is different, but I wish I had more confidence to speak up for myself in certain situations because I didn't know how severe it could be for not speaking up. You
All right.
know,
Well, let me address Pat Kennedy. First and foremost, he took it upon himself to make a decision for you, which that decision was for me and your mother. You understand what I'm saying, Chief? So I have a problem. He was your high school coach. I have a problem with that. First and foremost, if you don't pick up the phone and call his parents, he made a decision
particular
in that
moment.
camp. In that camp, he had no right. And I'm sorry, and I apologize, coach, but I cursed him out for this. You had no right to tell this man no, and you hadn't talked to me and your mother and myself. I had a problem with that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think AAU, starting with your class, AAU, because they did not allow coaches. They didn't allow college coaches around your senior year. Didn't allow college coaches to come to the games as much as they wanted to. So what did they do? It took the powers out of the hands of the high school coaches and put it in the hands of the AAU coaches, because you could call an AAU coach travel ball coach anytime you want to. And if he's not, and what he, not all of them, because there are some sincere guys out there. If they not about the kid, they only about their own, you know, fame. They gonna make choices they don't have no business making. So with that said, here's a question, Keith.
But before
Okay, I'm gonna
before we
let
get
you.
off this
I'm gonna,
question,
I'm gonna, I'm
no,
gonna,
it's
I'm
just
gonna
real
let you.
quick.
Hold on. I'm gonna let you answer, but I'm gonna give you the question. Then you go into this next question because
Okay.
this is designed for you. Lisa also says, "Can you please address the reclassification of a child?" So answer your question, then you go into that.
Ah, all right. So going back to the first question about public school and private school, you know, in
No,
public
brother.
school,
No, brother. It's not public.
yeah, it was public and private
No,
school.
it's urban.
Oh, urban.
Yeah,
So urban and private
it's
school,
urban.
urban
Urban
and
and
suburban.
suburban. Yeah.
So sometimes it's the competition, you know, it's this flat out who's around. You're in an urban area, you're gonna get more, to me, athletic players. You know what I'm saying? And you go to a suburban area, they're more well team playing. You know, there's more team involved. It's not it's not about somebody being smarter or faster, but it's just certain things. If you know how to listen, you can be a team player, you know, and still be athletic and also be smart about your decisions because you listen when the coach says, no, that's the wrong thing to do. You should do it this way. You know, it's as simple as that. With classification, if I would have did that, I would have probably I would have been to a suburban area or a private school because I was young. I was young going into school and I graduated at 17. I was turning 16, 17, not like 17, then turning 18 in high school. I was 16, turning 17 in my 12th grade year. You know what I mean? So I was a year or two younger than people as well. And so like a lot of like I could really say that really like when it comes to like social norms, it can kind of mess with you too. You know, everybody's older. You might be 14 and your boy's 16 driving, and then it's like, yo, can I get in the car with him? No, you too young. You know what I'm saying? So now it's like I'm not even experiencing some of the things that I wanted to as a kid with my boys, but it is what it was.
But
But
not to cut
going
you off.
back to the because what I did was go the prep school lane.
Okay, that's
You
where I'll
get what I'm
go.
saying?
I'll go.
So going into prep school, I didn't play against I didn't play against high school kids again when I did prep school. I played against college kids. I played against kids were my that were still older than me, but at the same time they were still super skilled. I'm talking about kids who didn't have the opportunity, who got the opportunity that was super good. See, I was prep school for me. I went to a military prep school too. It's called Fishburne Military School. You know, yo, my coach, love that dude, man. Coach Huck, he kept it real, but he loved the guys. You know what I mean? He made sure he was there for them kids. You know, he made sure, look, get to school, get to class. It's right there. You know, no excuses. You know, but at the same time, he let us do our thing on the court. It was no limitation to how we played because what you did at that prep school was going to, get you these. He said, look, you want to go D1? That's fine. We're going to get you there. You do the work. You know what I mean? It's not about what he actually made us go through. It was about what my dad said before, the effort. Where I have the platform to get you somewhere. It's all depending on how far you take it. You did what I'm saying? It was about that, and he gave us responsibility as well. So Coach Huck he was a dear remembrance of mine. And also, I want to say shout out to my coach, Coach Paul Gripper, who passed away. Let me tell you, um, I
Uncle
probably,
Pete.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I probably played on the best AAU team in 14 history. We was probably the best team in AAU history, and I would wish somebody would say otherwise. You know, you can send this to anybody anywhere. My team, the Reebok All Stars, the Mike who was it? The Urban Reebok All Stars was the best
RBK.
14U 14U AAU team that ever played on United States ground. Is guaranteed. We lost 3 games, and it
No,
was
you were
against
80.
kids.
You were 89. In your age group, you was 89-1. And the other
Exactly.
two games you lost, y'all was in the 18 and 19 tournament.
And we're 14 years old.
Yep.
Do you,
Yep.
like the 3 games we lost with kids who were 17 and 18 years old, and we're 14 and 13.
I'm gonna share a story with you real quick. We was down in Orlando for the AAU Nationals, right? Favorite team, everybody. Keith them lost on a half court shot.
To an NBA guy,
He's playing in the NBA to this day. One of
Horace Grant's.
Horace
Yeah.
Grant's nephews hit a half court shot to beat him, to beat them. This how good. This is how good that eighth grade team was. You know what I mean? So Keith has had a great experience, man. This is why I need
Tell
him
him
to speak on it
and
more.
tell him about that game. Can you tell him about the game and the environment and who was
Oh,
around and
yeah,
what?
people were so afraid of this team because these is all Philly, New Jersey cats. This is what they come, they go hard. I love the Philadelphia area because it reminds me of the crib. They go hard. It's
Shout
no,
out.
that's why me keeping his mother was driving up and down the East Coast and sending him to Vegas just to play with these guys. And Michael Kidd Gilchrist was one of the main guys on the team. And we were driving up and down. And when they hit that shot, it was like we was in the Final Four, and the number one team in the country was upset. They stormed the court. I was so mad.
They stormed a
I
14 and
wanted to
under.
swing. You storming. You don't have nothing. You don't have no dog in this fight. But Keith Nim was so dominant that other teams was rooting against them, and they stormed the court. And but see, that right there was a good experience for him because he understood the success of it. You know what I
And this
mean?
is the thing about it. That was the only game we lost, and we won every rest of the game, and we
Yeah.
placed eighth in the country. You get what I'm saying? That one game
Yep.
turned that we were
Look, they
that
would have
good.
won it.
That
They
was
would have
just
won it.
fate.
They would have won it.
Yeah, it was
But
it
a
was the
half
fate.
court
It
shot.
was it was just fate. Like, you can't fight fate, and that was my main thing about it because I was just appreciative of having Joey, Devin, Jalen, Aaron, Mike, you know, Trevor, you know, Malik, all these guys that was on my team, bro. Like because we all believed in each other. Lamont, you know what I'm saying? everybody who was with us at 14, like 13 and 14 years old, we understood that, look, we are the best kids in the country every time we play because Coach Gripper, Coach Paul, Uncle P told us so.
He was, hey, look, no nonsense Philly cat, straight up and up, ready to
I
fight,
remember, man.
was ready to fight every, almost every tournament. I had to walk up there and like, yo, come on, bro, it ain't worth it. He said, yo, man, this is my plan. You know what I'm saying? Because Paul used to intimidate him. And when I say a good dude, man, when I say a good dude, he was a hell of a guy, man. He really was. Rest in peace to that brother. You know what I mean? All right, well, we're gonna move on a little bit, brother. Two questions. I got two questions for you. Um, Tina wants to know, is AAU necessary? What's
Nowadays, it is, but it's about your kid getting as much time as possible playing in that AAU circuit. If you're gonna play AAU, you make sure that that kid is playing. Because I played for some of the top AAU teams in North Carolina and Philadelphia, and it was like it was times where the best players I felt like didn't show up, and then I showed up for the next game I didn't play. How did that make a kid at 16, 15 years old feel? You know what I mean? It's like, damn. And we're playing against the best kids in the country. I played against Harrison Barnes, Jared Sullinger, Kyrie Irving. I played against the guys. You know what I'm saying? Because we were that good. Reggie Bullock, that's one of my good friends. Um, we played CP3 together with lead point guard Poopy Chapman. That boy right there, he's a genius on the floor, man. All right. You talking about passes? He'll get you the ball if you can score it every single time. He will get 10 assists in a row if you know you can score that thing every time. You get what I'm saying? That's the type of people we had. We had Melvin Tab, you know what I'm saying? 6'9", LeBron. Before we knew, I actually, like, I knew LeBron, about LeBron, but actually seeing something that can give me like a description figure of LeBron was Melvin Tab. You get what I'm saying? And he was projected to be that guy. Unfortunately, he had that tragic injury to him, but he was jumping out the gym in middle school. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was real good. I have real good guys around me, and I learned from these guys as well. And it is it, AAU is especially. I think that it is major, is important because you get to see where you are in the grand scheme of it. When you get the tournaments and these like national tournaments, you got a kid, you got a team that you're on. You know your kid is blessed to be on a really good team to play against national talent in these tournaments. You will see how good you really are. Can you keep up? I played against, rest in peace, Adrian Payne, big guy from Michigan State. You know, he just recently got killed, got shot trying to protect somebody. He's a good dude. When I first met him, we about to play against each other. We just changed in the bathroom. He's like, "What's up, bro?" I did. I'm like, "Yo, who are you?" You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, "Yo, you big dude. You 7 foot." You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm young too, but I'm people. I've, I've ran across different people my whole life, and they do great things. And so it's like, if you see that, it's like, how can you not be great? If you're around greats, how can you not be great? You get what I'm saying?
especially
You don't run across people for no reason,
especially if you could play with those greats?
especially if you can play with them. You know what I'm
Um,
saying? Like, and
I'm gonna share with y'all when I knew that if he if Keith put his mind to it, what he what the possibilities could be. This far as basketball is concerned, because I always understood that he had great potential, but it was going into his sophomore year, and it was a fall tournament. one of the last fall tournaments. It's like an open tournament up in Virginia. And Keith went up there with the 15 and under, and he was just dominated that crew right there because like I said, it's big guy, just going forth. But then,
But you talk about when I was with D1 Sports.
yes, and then the older squad needed a rebounder, they needed a strong presence, right? So Brian Clifton, shout out to that guy, man. He asked, he no, he didn't ask if Keith. He told the coach, "Hey, I want them playing with us." So Keith went up, and I said to Keith, "Just play hard." But Keith just so happened to be playing with John Wall. Right after this is probably right after John blew up and transferred the word of God. And
John
when I
Wall, Ryan
understood,
Kelly, C.J.
yeah,
Leslie,
yeah,
Bishop Daniels, J.T. Terrell. Yeah,
listen,
yes, God.
John Wall, I knew
Darius
he was
Leonard.
going to be a great point guard because averaged Keith averaged about 12 and 9 rebounds in the last 4 games, and probably more than 12 because what was crazy about it was John was setting him up. He told him, "Hey, Keith, go here. I need you here. This, Keith, just get your hands ready. Just be ready." And Keith destroyed. We standing on the sidelines, and I'm watching, and I knew what he's capable of. And there's people coming up here. Is that your son? How old is he? I told him how old he was. What? Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. They're excited about it because when you have a good point guard and you're willing to go hard, ain't nothing but fruitfulness. You know what I'm saying? So I always understood that he was gonna be all right. That's why I never panicked. You know what I mean? Because it was always our luck. We always ran into people who was coaching, other than Paul. But we in North Carolina, he's in Philly. Who was coaching, who always took care of their kids. I understood that, but really and truly, if you got kids on your team, you're supposed to take care of all of them. That's always been my mentality. It ain't never been no different. You know what I mean? But look, I wanted to address this basketball thing, man, for a reason. And that was because even though you don't want to admit it, you are an expert at this thing. And it's just some knowledgeable things. You know what I mean? So let's get back to your clothing line. Are you working with anybody? Are you collaborating with anyone?
Um, so right now, I'm heavy working with my 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 friend, my brother. This dude was with me at Robert Morris. My man Dave Giddy Apollon. That dude right there. Let me tell you, what we had to go through at Robert Morris. Shout out Andy Toole, coach over there at that time. When he was there, he was the youngest head coach in NCAA history. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I say this: we went through hell to get to the promised land. You know, and so right now, my boy Dave, because he understands, he he been through that. He been through success. He stayed at Robert Morris. He was able to win, conference championships there. We had opportunities to do that. And I was at Robert Morris. I won 52 games, 53 games in 2 years. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. 52 to 53 games in 2 years. We were we were when I left there, we were ranked top 50 at the end of the year, both years. You know, never broke the top 25, but it's okay. But him, he right now he got a guy that kid that he's been working with for the past 4 years, 5 years. His name is Drizzy P, Drizzp, and because me and Dave, I know because of what he's been through, he was able to get that kid opportunity to work with Lil Wayne and get signed with Young Money, Cash Money, you know, be a part of that. And it wasn't promised for me just because I'm his friend. I earned that, you know. I'm always gonna shout him out because we went through that together too. You know what I'm saying? That's one of my best friends because he kept it real with me. He'll let me know if I'm wrong. He let me know if I'm right. I can't ask for nothing else from somebody like that. Tell me the truth and keep it real with me. And we always look out for each other since we ever since we known each other. And at that time, Dave was playing for Team Philly. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, he wasn't with RBK. He was with Team Philly, and so I used to see him all the time too. And, but yeah, and so working with Drizzy, he's killing it right now. He's in New York right now doing freestyles. Everybody loving him. He said he's up next. He's already there. He is next. You know, because that kid put in the work. Because he had guys like me and Twiz and Dave and Giddy, you know, around to understand that's what you need. You always got to put in that work. You know, uh, shoot. Right now, that's my main focus and putting people in position that I can that's not strenuous on myself either. You know, sometimes you can try to help somebody, but that shit be stressful. You know, I want it to flow because I know if you work hard, I know you work hard because I know I work hard. So if you can match my intensity even more, you're gonna make me even more hungry too. We're gonna get somewhere, you know. So
Yeah.
shout out to my boy Joel Venom. And man, let me tell you, he's from PA, and he moved down to Raleigh, and he helped me. I never wanted to be a music artist, but I always wanted to try it, and I got lucky meeting one of the best producers in the East Coast, like hands down, to help me understand that, you know, he taught me a lot. He still does, you know, and he's a good guy, you know, and him and Drizzy are working together and they making beautiful music, you know.
That's cool. That's
And
cool.
so that's what I want to continue to do with people who don't have to show me or earn it from me, but shit, it's gonna if you're good at something and you continue to do it, like people gonna know. They're gonna know, and they're gonna be willing to reach out and help.
Okay. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna give before we get to the last segment for Damon, Jaquari and Keith, we're gonna give you opportunity last word. We'll start with you, Jaquari.
Hey man, like I told you before, man, I definitely respect your journey and everything, man, and I'm excited about the possibilities. It's inspirational, and I wish you the best of luck in your career. And put your shoulder on it, nephew. Keep on pushing.
Okay. Keith, any last word to your brother?
Um, my last words is, you know, it starts young with people, you know, and sometimes you know parents they don't it's hard to reach out to their kids, you know, and understand you know what they're going through, and is this
Oh, okay.
for me to just to tell them just don't give up on them. You know what I'm saying? Just really really be their friend. Don't be their parent. Like really be their friend because the more comfortable somebody is with somebody, they're gonna give you information. They're gonna want to give you information because they are excited. They're ready to talk to you. You know what I mean? And and you know, I'm just grateful to have people who just believe in what I'm doing and just continue to do that because it's going to get better from this. Like it's always going to get better from this because I'm putting in the work for it. It doesn't. I don't know where my plan is going to take me, but I know the plan is going to get done. It's going to happen, regardless how it gets done. But it's going to happen regardless. And I just want to, shout out to everybody from Kyle to Geedy to you, Dad, to Uncle Fluky, Uncle Spo, my mom. You know, all these people that's been in my life that's been there supporting. Carson, that's my best friend, absolutely. Even though we're 15 years apart, God made him where he can hang with me. You know what I mean? At any point. Uh,
You know what's funny, man? Not to cut you off. You 15 years older than he is.
yeah,
That's the exact same number of years that's between me and my brothers, man. That's wild.
Mhm.
that's my dog right there. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to show him that it don't have to just be sports. I want him to do anything that he wants to do. I don't ask him to be the best athlete of all time. He could be the best chess master for all I care. Just put in the work to be that. Ask to play against me. Ask to play against. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't. I don't want him to think that it's a stigma or something that he has to do because he's black and he's in America. You know what I'm saying? I want him to understand that the world. My dad used to say, You're bigger than the street that you live on." Right? Cause I'm not giving out no addresses. You know what I mean? And I took that to heart because I believed that every time one of my friends, shout out to my boy Armand. That's one of my best friends too. He out there in California killing it, right? Photographer. Let me tell you, that dude right there, he was the first person. I first started playing basketball. He was the first person to tell me I sucked. I was trash. Yo,
I gave him that business in some Champs. Remember that?
my man said he told me he said, "Yo, you suck. You're terrible." I took that to heart, and I made sure that he could never say that again to me. You know what I mean? And I didn't take any, I didn't get any growth spurts yet. Like that didn't have nothing to do with it. But I'm like, look, I will never want anybody have the room or position to say that because of my work ethic. They can still say it sucks, but I know I put in enough work to be like, shut up. You know? And and if somebody gets mad, ask yourself, did you put enough work in for you even to get mad? Are you really mad? Or are you just mad because they said it and you know you ain't putting no work in?
Okay. All right. My last words is life ain't nothing but a melodrama played backwards. I'm gonna let that sink in. All right. Our usual time in this in our episode is Damon. Go ahead and bring us home, brother.
Here's the thing, man, that I've thought about, man. I've tried to put my thoughts together and whatever, because if you look at our last podcast, our last maybe two podcasts, I've been talking about, what I'm saying, the young people, especially the young black men, and how they killing each other and doing, treacherous things to each other. It's a breath of fresh air, man, to listen to my nephew and be inspired by some things that, man, me and him have had some deep conversations before, but I learned some things about him tonight, and I'm inspired by it. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just him talking. I can tell that what he thinks and what he feels and believes is a spiritual thing, and it's personal. You know what I'm saying? And that gives me hope. You know what I'm saying? That gives me hope, and I appreciate your words, man, and I appreciate you coming on. You know what I'm saying? It's been a long time coming, and man, I've learned some things about my nephew, and I love you. saying?
I love all of you. Thank you, cousin E.
And
Okay.
that's all I got to say, really. You know what I'm saying? I'm in a
I could
good
talk to
place right
y'all.
now.
I could talk to y'all for hours. You know what I'm saying? Like all of this. You know, but I definitely
All right.
keep it
Well,
on.
we can't
Like,
hardly
I
hear
can't
you,
hear
brother.
you.
What'd you say?
I
Are
said
you
I could
plugged
talk to
in?
you guys. Yeah, I said I could talk to you guys all day about hours about this stuff. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I'm comfortable to talk to you guys about this stuff. You know, outside of this, I gotta keep the wall up. Just not because you know I have to. I let the wall down today because I I had to. It was the right time. I told my dad before that. I wasn't ready to get on the podcast yet. You know,
Right.
and because I had
Hope
this
you're back.
long project that we was doing, this long project me and Kyle, we're doing. We're still working on it. Even to this day, because certain things, that I have to take care of my end to make sure I can do things that's going to help me, release stress and be able to, express myself in a way where it's not because I'm not going to say fake, but like not all the way genuine. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to not have that feeling at all when I'm talking to people I care about. You know,
Yeah. All right. Well, look, you see across the screen.
Yeah, I'm reading that right now.
I'm gonna let you address your non-athletic mother, and you gonna take us on out of here, bro.
just because a person is 6 foot doesn't mean that a person has to play basketball. I hate that societal and personal expectation placed on student athletes, the inadequate lack of responsibility, accountability, sport college are deficient in improving providing student athletes. My mom, let me tell you this. My mom has been in my corner throughout my whole basketball career. If it wasn't for my mother taking me to the Bronx and for the junior phenom camp, I don't know. I don't even know where I'll even be. You know, my mom has been my biggest supporter from every aspect of my life. And I I get a lot of courage from her. I I, I think about this. My mom, let me tell you, she she's one of the first people I know you can make 6 figures, man. You get not an NBA player, my mother, and unfortunately she got diagnosed with things that not let her have the job. But guess what? I see that as possible to do it. You know, and she a very she been oh my goodness. We we all words won't can't even describe how much I love that woman and, and what I want to give to her when it's all said and done. You know, and
That's real.
and and, and my grandmother up there in Philly and my grandma, you guys, mom, they definitely played a big impact. A big impact, man. I love your mom so much. She wasn't a person who had to say a lot, but what she said was so effective. Just for this being young, for me, and you know, I'll always cherish the times that I had with her. I really will.
All right. Well, first and foremost, I think I'm the only basketball player, the basketball guy in this whole situation. No, I'm just
Mm.
fucking.
Hey, look here. When my sister-in-law put on "I Hate Basketball," 15 games in, I hated basketball, man.
Hey,
I did.
yo,
And as
it
as
is.
as accomplished as was in basketball, I hated it.
You know why? Because no, I can't tell you why you hated it. But I'm gonna
I'm
tell
gonna
you
tell
now.
me
I'm
to
gonna
tell
tell
you
you
why.
now. I'm gonna tell you why I loved it. Because it gave me the freedom to express exactly who I was. Not that it didn't define who I was, but it helped me, and football helped me to let out the aggressions of the time without me going to prison.
Damn.
Uh, no, that's real. I'm not gonna bullshit you.
You know
I,
why I
I, I
hated
would
it?
I would not bullshit anybody watching this broadcast.
You know
Before
why I
it
hated
saved
it?
my life because I was an angry, angry man.
I'm gonna tell you why I hated it. I hated it, man, because as far as basketball is concerned, everybody always told me what I couldn't be. But when I know I got on the court, I can do what I wanted to do, and I did.
Hmm.
And I lost interest in it, and it became a burden.
I can tell you that's why I loved it because I couldn't do everything, and over time I was able to do everything. When I got to my professional career in it, I was able to shoot threes, make my free throws, dunk, make a layup, get rebounds, get assists, get steals, get blocks, take the charge. You get what I'm saying? Set the screen, get off the screen. You get what I'm saying? I was able to do it all because my dad told me to be an all-around player too. You did what I'm saying? And because he knew I couldn't do everything yet. But over time with my college career, you know, I had to I just I fine tuned it. You know what I mean? Like got into that, I averaged for the 2 years I was playing, I averaged in Italy 24, 24, 12, and 5. You know what I'm saying? In Italy, and when I was in Peru, I averaged like 34, 10, and 8. You know what I mean? Like doing doing I sacrifice. I say this to y'all before. I sacrificed damn body parts for this motherfucker. I got surgery on my right knee twice.
That's hey, that one was crazy, nephew. I ain't sacrificed nothing but time.
You know what I'm saying? Like I,
And that was it.
my
You
shoulder
know,
once and my right knee twice. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I learned how to take care of my body too. You know, while I was in college and doing
shit. Hell, I was smoking cigarettes.
Oh, okay. This, yo, look,
I,
hit, this is just hit me because me and Kia were AAU parents. Now, first and foremost, I was the kind of AAU parent that was a coach at heart. I understood the game completely, right? So when I ran into guys who were just damn talent organizers, I stepped in to help those kids evolve. So if you guys are not like great, if you don't know the game, but you want your child to become more, this is my advice to you. First and foremost, everybody's going. If the, everybody, anybody who wants your child from AAU to college, they're going to lie to you because they want your child to come to your school, their school. Period. That's their job. Or to come to their AAU program. Because what you're going to do when you come to that AAU program is not because they want your child to be better. No, your child is showcasing their program better. Am I saying that these are just some diabolical people? No. What I'm telling you is the real. Fathers, if you want a great basketball player and you're not a great teacher, do not give your son crazy ass advice. You need to shoot more. Everybody needs to shoot more. Teach your child how to encourage your child how to play the game. Understand basketball. Understand his position and understand everybody else's position.
You
That's
know what I'm
what you
saying?
do.
Like,
Now I understand the panic will come in. Even though I understand, I had friends that were college coaches, ex-coaches who had college teams and all these things, right? And I understood all I had to do was make a phone call for Keith, and he'll be, they will steer me in the right direction. I still panicked. You want to know why? Because you want the best for your child. That's what you want. You want the best for your child. You don't want anything else but that. So guess what you're going to do? You start to become paranoid. And this is for the AAU travel ball parents. Take a deep breath. If you know the game, emphasize your child. Hard work, dedication, and do it personally, not just with his trainer, but do it personal time is what puts your child over the top as far as getting better. Period. I'm telling you this because you know why? I played basketball for so many years. My son played. I coached basketball for over 30 something years. So I don't have no dog in your fight. What I'm saying to you is take control of your life. Do not think because if you're a contributor to the program, that your child should play more. Unless that motherfucker tell you that he's gonna play your child more. Then you hold him accountable. But
You know what was crazy to me, Keith?
hold on. I'm almost done. But when it's so heavily emphasized on exposure, and then your team gets on that great travel team and your kid gets on that great travel team and don't get off the bench, of course you're gonna feel salty. Because what AAU is for, from the age from 8th grade all the way to 10th grade, is basketball, being on the court. Now, 11th grade year, you got to position your child in a program that that program is going to be seen by other coaches. And you have a coach who's fair enough to put every child on that floor. That's why it's good to have you go to a program where it's 12 kids because all 12 kids will get the opportunity to play. I'm giving you fucking game. This is real. But if you allow yourself to panic, you're gonna do desperate things. Me personally, I made decisions that Keith and Kia was mad to me about, but I knew I had to make those decisions. I had to make those decisions because whether I was right or wrong, if I ran into somebody who really and truly did not respect us as parents and thought that he was the end all be all, I didn't want to be in that position because guess what? I would hurt Keith more by cussing that person out. But if I put Keith on the team and the dude is still a dickhead who never played before in his life, but he was a manager of talent, I had to live with that. But I knew that I would put Keith in a position where he would find it. And Keith, what I used to say all the time, last thing I'm gonna say, I used to tell you all the time, there are so many roads to get to where you want to go. It's not just the one. So this is the game I'm giving you AAU parents to help you to understand. Yes, it's bullet points, but these bullet points is gonna help you keep your fucking sanity and will not drive your kid crazy because of your anxiety.
yeah, don't panic. And that's also with high school though. Like, don't panic for high school because he's not playing. If you know, if you believe in your son enough that he's gonna put the work in to have the opportunity to play, then believe in that more than saying I'm gonna put him in a different situation because every situation ain't gonna be the same. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you gotta go through that to get what he wants. I, man, like I said, man, I played with some guys. You hear me? Like, for example, my boy Desmond Wells, right? That man got knee surgery, got got uh, falsely accused of accusations, and was able to still get to the G League, NBA, play over in Asia, score 50, 40 points a game. You get what I'm saying? Like
He
he
didn't
he
give up.
he did never gave up. He never gave up. You get what I'm saying? Like I, I'm I'm telling the kids, don't give up. Don't doubt yourself. You get what I'm saying? Is like have confidence that you could learn it. Because once you learn it, you could perfect it and make it the way that you want to do it. But it's all about the repetition. It's about putting in the man hours to do that. And you know, it don't matter what you want to do, as long as you want to. And I got this guy from Detroit. I listen to his name is Babyface Ray. You know, he just had an interview. He's finally getting his chance. He been in the scene, the Detroit scene, for 10 plus years, and he's finally now getting his chance. He's 31 years old. He's about to turn 32, I believe, in February. But this dude says, "Look, it's more than 10,000 hours to get where you want to go. You got 10,000 maybe mastered, but it's 10,000 to get where you want to go. It's more than that. You know what I mean? And that's the whole thing. Like you gotta love it. You gotta like obsess over it, but a healthy obsession. You get
Right,
what I'm saying?
right. And just to piggyback on what y'all saying, not to take over the conversation, but piggyback on what y'all saying.
No,
Keith, you was Dean's List the whole time you was in college, bro. Right? Am I right?
say it again.
I said you was Dean's List the whole time you was in college, right?
Except for one semester.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
I was
So
yeah, because I
so you
was
was.
for the month. Yeah, I was.
Okay, so I said it to say this, man. My whole life, man. My whole life, I'm gonna keep it short. My whole life, man, I was an academic. I was that guy that went to the library and read all the classics and all that stuff. I was an academic guy. But because of how things were, I was forced to believe that the only way I was going to be successful was through some type of sports or whatever. Sports for me, man, was just something I did, and I took on a challenge, and I'm satisfied with my challenge. You know what I'm saying? Hall of Fame, all that shit. I get it. But when it came to my kids, when it came to my kids, daughter graduated from Central Michigan, married, husband, all that stuff. Morgan, matter of fact, she finna graduate from Michigan, master's degree this Saturday, 10 o'clock. In case you want to attend. Cameron, he's going to graduate from Albion College in May. You
Okay.
understand? They didn't really play sports. You know what I'm saying? They didn't really play sports. And at first, in the beginning, I was like, man, y'all need to play this, y'all need to play that. But then I started contradicting myself. I was like, if it was up to me, I probably would have never played sports, man. Because I was an academic guy. But because I understood what really mattered, and what really mattered was, what I'm saying, what is it that you love and that you want to get into to be your best self? Because everybody can't play a sport and be good at it. You know what I'm saying? And because I was understanding and then I recognized my kids, they pretty damn good at what they doing. Pretty damn good. You know what I'm saying? And when I think about it in retrospect, if I would have had somebody to tell me, you know what, it ain't about basketball because I played it, man, because my brother played it. You know what I'm saying? And I competed because I don't like to lose. But my passion was academics. You know what I'm saying? And because I was true to myself in terms of dealing with my kids, you see where they are. All three of them got degrees. You know what I'm saying? Morgan said, "Hey, Dad, you love Michigan. I'm gonna go there." She getting a master's degree from that. You know what I'm saying? I believed in what they believed in, and I supported them in what they was their endeavors or whatever. And you can be an athlete, or you can be an academic. All that stuff matters, man.
Yeah. And cousin, yeah, I
Whatever
just
your
looked at the
passions
comments.
lies.
I just looked at the comments. Cousin Eric, he was like, parents shouldn't live vicariously through the kids. You know, let your
Right.
kids just let them be who they like. That was the thing that made me successful in things that I'm doing. I'm not gonna say I'm great or the best, but I'm successful because I complete objectives. You get what I'm saying? And it was because you know even though my dad is a basketball head fiend, like of the passion of it to even looking at it, he did not force it on me. He showed me, but he did not force me to play. Get what I'm saying? Because that can give resentment. That can give resentment. And I tell my brother, because he has a long journey. If he wants to do that, just you got to put in the man hours on your own. You can't rely on me who played. You can't rely on my dad who was a McDonald's All American in football and basketball. You know what I'm saying? You got to make your own path to do that. You gotta
Right.
you gotta work hard and put the skills in yourself, and then we can help you the best we can. Because I was doing crunches and running and push-ups and all different type of things to get me there. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you. I wish we would have talked a little bit more about what we talked about last night. The shit you were saying last night was very profound, man. It was
Well,
very profound.
as
You know, so
far
now I was
as
like, damn.
you talking about which part of it?
When you were talking about you, talking about your inspiration and what you're trying to get to the world, but you wasn't trying to force nobody to go your route, but to
Um,
find their own.
Yeah, he talked about it tonight, dog. That's
yeah,
what he talked about the most
I
of the
can reiterate still.
majority of the night.
I can still reiterate. Like especially with my clothes. My clothes might not be for everyone. I got a shirt right now that I'm wearing. It says "Be You," right?
Right.
You can see it. It says "Be You," right? On the back of it, I have I got them intact right now. I got them right here. I still haven't released them, but I'm anybody who wants one, just let me know. Give me a contact because once they get online, they're gonna be the price it is. But if you want it now, since I'm online, and anybody who wants one, just give me a call, contact, and I'll make sure y'all get one. Um, but on the back of it, you know, I have different religions.
Yeah, I saw that. I like them joints.
I have
I
different
I
religions,
want one.
and I have different religions on there because it's not about the religion part of it. I didn't do it for the based on religion. It was based on I don't care what you are, just be you. I'm not gonna judge you
Right.
for who you are or what you say. Because you're not harming me. That's what you believe in, right? Because we went to war over religion too, correct? So
Right.
why would I that was my whole thing. I'm not out here trying to make you love everything that I do. But if you respect it and understand the message, you know,
Right.
and spread the word. And whatever you believe in and whatever you respect, you know, that's is what it is. I'm not out here trying to be a preacher. I ain't out here to be a prophet, man. I'm just out
Right.
here creating clothes that I love and creating great quality clothes that I love to do.
Hey, and one last thing, man. Shout out to my niece down in Florida too, man, cause she did the damn thing too. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah.
She a beast. Married, doing the damn thing.
Okay. Now she in Texas now, bro.
She in Texas.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. I, I ain't want to say that because I didn't know who you was talking about. But yeah, she in Texas now, bro.
Well, goddamn, she was in Florida last time I knew.
Uncle
Well,
Aaron, happy birthday,
But
man.
there's still shout out to her though.
Happy birthday,
appreciate
Aaron.
it, appreciate it. Oh, happy birthday, brother.
Assalamu alaikum. Go ahead.
Hey, look, we went 2 hours, and our critics would say, "Hey, man, y'all need to go that long." I don't give a fuck. This is great conversation. This is what we're gonna do.
I'll come
But
back for you.
all right, this is the last question, and this
Oh, we
from the
got one more question,
Last
man.
question.
yeah. Look.
Now, hold on. How y'all gonna front on me, man? Because I don't know where my niece at and shit. And you got another question.
You didn't want to go out on that, did you, dog?
Run it, so I can
It's
get
at
my
it's
shit
at the
off.
it's at the bottom of the screen. Keith, it's on you.
What's next? Are you interested in the storefront?
Good question. Great damn question.
My instant. Uh, so my plan, yeah, at some point. So I didn't talk about this also. Like, just because you went to school does not mean that you have to stop learning. I I still do online classes. I'm still learning information to make myself a better person in my field. You know that I this whole year I didn't tell my dad or my mom, anybody, until I was almost done. That I'm about to get another certificate of me completing educational work, so I could be more equipped to explain and do things for my fashion, and what I want to definitely do is have a storefront at some point. I want to have my own store, but I want to put out particular pieces to main stores so they can sell out. I want to give people the nice stuff, you know. These like I want to give it to well-known boutiques that have great rates of people buying and supporting these things. I, of course I'm a black man who owns a business, but I'm not black owned. You get what I'm saying? I'm here for everybody to participate and interact with Kibo and Book Anonymous. You get what I mean? Like it's never been about color. I had one of my best friends was a white kid named Elijah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I was in preschool. You know what I mean? Like, I remember these things because it was never about that. It was about learning and understanding and why are we friends? Because we had certain things in common. Having things in common bring friends around and bring friends together. So you just make sure that you keep the people out here who's looking at this. Don't be around people who you don't like. Be around people who respect you. You get what I
Man,
mean?
you a damn near be by yourself, then, man. If that's the case.
Man, be around people who respect you and give you look. Look, if you only got one friend in this world, you only got one friend in this world, man. As long as that person can make you happy, you know, uh, that's where I'm at with it. Like I said, I'm 30 now. I just turned 30 in October, the end of October, man. So like, I'm I see that 30 isn't old, but
Hell
I'm not
no.
young either.
Hell no.
How the
I'm
hell
not.
you 30 and I'm 45, man? How the hell that happened, man?
How the hell that's some wishful thinking on your part? All right, well, look, like I
And we're
said,
also like, yeah, but the second part, yeah, we're definitely still online and we're putting more stuff out in these next months. So let's keep on looking out for us. I'm definitely going to make sure that I post it on Instagram on our Book Anonymous website. I mean, our Book Anonymous platform page, and just keep that going. And also, what I'm doing now, if you follow us and on Instagram and you tell us, hey, I want to be part of your close friends group, I put upcoming clothing up so you can see it before I put it out in the public. So you can have first dibs on it before it goes out. I want to give people opportunity. I want to make this fun for you guys. I want y'all to have something to believe in. Great quality, great, great messages. Great clothing. And you just know that I'm wanting this to happen for it. And I have people around me who are working hard, just as hard to make this thing happen. You know,
no doubt, no doubt. All right, well, look, hey, Eric, why you put, what number is this you just put on the screen, man? Hit me up and tell me what's what. You ain't putting your digits out here in the world, are you? Um, Listen, I really feel as though this was a great episode for the simple fact that you got a chance to get out what you needed to get out. You know what I mean? I want y'all to know I give my son a hard time because I believe in being held accountable of everything. So every once in a while, you know,
Every single day.
yes, and fucking Didi. You damn right.
Hey, my son expressed everything to me. I know everything about him. I need to know everything about my nephew, man. It's a
No,
lot. I got a lot of questions, man.
I mean, first of all, yeah,
Keith, they ain't got nothing to do with you, man.
but hey, that's why you got cell phones, man.
Yeah,
Right.
it's about time for us to go ahead and wrap this thing up, fellas.
Look at you, man. Look at you. There you go.
I'm surprised you ain't got
Hey,
your
hey,
snuggie, Batman.
I'm
hey,
saying, man, like, look,
y'all
man, do
still
y'all think
here?
it's easy? Do y'all think it's easy, man? Working 16-hour days, man. That's what I do when I
Absolutely
do
not.
this, right?
First of all,
It's
first
not
of all,
easy.
No, ain't no first of
I know,
all,
I know,
man. I
I
don't want to
know,
hear
no, I
that.
know, I know I'm retired, man. But
Hey, man, look
let me
here. You can make this statement tomorrow, brother.
Man, my sister crazy as hell, man.
look. This is what you do. This is
When
what
she
you
when
do.
she stopped getting old,
You relax for a moment, and then you're gonna get your wish, sir. That's what you do.
I've been relaxing, man. Hey, look, let's wrap it
So,
up, fellas.
you're not being rude because you don't want the world to know that you
Hey,
still
man,
got
I'm
this
I'm
motherfucker.
hey, man, I'm being rude because y'all you eating up my time now, bro.
Ah,
Yeah, I'm tired. I get it.
listen,
Yeah.
listen, everybody.
there it is.
We had a little bit of fun with this thing. But this is a strong perspective podcast. Like I said, we speak to everyday people. We talk about everyday topics. We want to get each guest that comes on. We want to get their view of the world because it's very important that you get each and every person's view of the world because then it may change your view, but it may reinforce your view. It ain't always about you. Everything that you go through in your life, every up and down, you ever think that it's not about you? It's about the next person that you affect.
Okay, hey Keith, who is this? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, 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 yeah. No, 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 no.
All right, well, look, hey, stay on for a quick minute, man. This is Strong Perspective Podcast. Thank the
Hey,
folks for staying with us and keeping on. Any last second words, guys, before I hit this joint right here?
hey, what my man say? When I mace you, when you blind, I'm gonna stab you, and then I'm gonna chase you.
Jaquar, any last words?
I done gave them to y'all, man.
Go ahead and sing. How about that?
I'm
All
gonna
right,
stab. Hey, I'm gonna stab you in your back and everything.
this is This is Strong Perspective Podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.
Oh man.